Commissioner of New York State Parks, Eric Kulisade. And now welcome the 57th Governor of the great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's quite a lot of news happening today, but before we get to the topic at hand, I do want to first address the fact that this afternoon there'll be a 4 o'clock press conference regarding a massive development, so we will wait for the news on what happened with the arrest pertaining to the Gilgo Beach murders. And so I know there's a community out there that, as the facts unfold, will be sleeping a lot easier tonight, and a lot of families whose lives have been just turned upside down, always wondering, questioning what happened, and will the perpetrator ever be brought to justice. Hopefully, after further news is unveiled today, that the answer will be yes. Yes, the day has finally come when someone so depraved of heart, who would kill individuals, innocent individuals, in the prime of their lives, young lives, is finally brought to justice. So we are hoping that this will bring justice to this individual, but also peace to the families. And I first of all just want to thank the task force that has really been working hard on this, but especially since it was reconstituted again in January 2022, the Gilgo Beach Homicide Task Force, really focusing hard, putting their efforts, their attention, their focus on doing something that needed to be done, which is why we're here today. So to the FBI, the Suffolk County Police Department, led by Commissioner Rodney Harrison, we'll be hearing from later this afternoon, our Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, DA Ray Tierney, Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, as well as all the partners from Nassau County Police and law enforcement here, and to the New York State Police Troop L, which, as the information unfolds, we revealed had a major role in the new evidence that resulted in the arrest of this individual. So that's all I can address at this time, but this is a day that is a long time in coming, and hopefully a day that'll bring peace to this community and to the families, peace that has been long overdue. So let's take a moment of silence for the victims of those horrific murders. And may God rest their souls. Today, we're here to talk about making our beaches safe in another way, safe from another kind of predator, the sharks. And I want to thank County Executive Bruce Blakeman, who just went out and toured briefly with me how we're using new technologies to keep the people who love these magnificent beaches, and they are second to none, making them safe and letting people know that their government is watching. And if the message can get out to the sharks, we are watching. We're watching from land and sea and air. Well, we just launched some drones today, and there's going to be some visual momentarily to show you what that looks like. So thank you, County Executive. Our Commissioner of State Parks, Eric Kulisade, who's been working so hard. I mean, you think about what he's doing here, but he's been racing up and down the Hudson Valley as we're trying to restore some normalcy to our other state parks, Bear Mountain, others where there's access. The roads are impassable because of Mother Nature wreaking havoc. And I want to thank you and your teams for just being on the job in such an intense way. You know you love your parks, but you also want to make sure we're protecting our citizens, whether it's from the raging storms and the threatening winds and landslides and all the other effects of the climatic changes, which are unprecedented, but also protecting our beachgoers all the way here to Long Island. I also want to recognize some of our state elected officials here. Kevin Thomas, our state senator. I want to thank him for his Taylor Darling, New York State Assembly, has joined us. I see Dorothy Gooseby is also in the audience, our senior council member, deputy senior. And I want to thank everyone else who's joined us, all the electeds and former electeds and people who just care about this community the way we all do. And we're also at a beautiful place. I mean, this place is a place of learning, a place where families and kids can come to recreate, understand the wild, what is on this beautiful land, the beaches, how magnificent they are, but also what's under the water. So this is an eye-opening experience for young people to come and have a chance to, in this beautiful space, have a chance to learn more. So it's also not a coincidence that today is National Shark Awareness Day. They've got a day for everything. And you think about the fact that back in 1975, I don't think a lot of people in this room were born then. We all look so young. But also, people didn't think a lot about sharks until 1975, until Jaws premiered in all the theaters. And so everyone's had this on their minds ever since then. You know, even if it was their grandparents who saw it, a lot of people were exposed to, you know, that particular story. A place called Amityville, which I'm told is not our Amityville. It's a different Amityville. But you think about how rare that was. You know, it was a blockbuster story because it was so surreal and so rare. But it's always been in the imagination of beachgoers, I guarantee it. We went from having one shark encounter in 2012 to 8 a decade later in 1 year. So 10-year period, we have one back then, and just last year we had a record 8. And the sharks are coming closer, and this is the good news. Not that they're coming closer, but they're coming closer because the water's more pristine. It's cleaner than it was 50 years ago. And the habitat is moving, and the species that they feed off of are coming in closer because we've done such a good job cleaning up the water that people swim in and the fish and sharks live in. So that is a good thing, but it's also something that we need to be on guard about. And so giving the lessons of last summer and seeing the change in sharks' behavior, we knew early on, before the season even started, we had to take preemptive steps and get the awareness out there and to do everything we can to keep beachgoers safe. So we're talking about a couple ways we can deploy this, and the county executive will tell you what he's doing locally as well as what our commissioner's doing. But part of it was making sure that we have money to embrace the new technologies. And what I saw on the back of a state police boat just a short time ago was the use of drones that are launched by highly trained young person who is living the dream, given that he was addicted to video games growing up. His words, not mine. But a dream job for him as he's launching drones that are going up in the air, scouring the landscape, literally not just looking at the topical area, but can see the shadows and the movement beneath the surface. It was extraordinary, and was sending pictures back of us looking at the drone. So it was really fascinating to see, but I don't assume that many counties have budgeted for drones for shark watching. So the state wanted to step up and do our part, and I thank our state legislators for helping with the resources. So we have $1 million plan where we're equipping communities with high-tech drones to monitor shark activity. And starting today, we'll be providing over 60 of these drones to communities from Long Island to New York City to Westchester, which is our vulnerable areas. And so it's not just the drones, which is great. It's also the training and certification that has to follow that. So those are the steps we're taking. And we want to make sure that none of our communities ever appear on Shark Week, which premieres at the end of the month. But this is an opportunity for us to, again, bring awareness to beachgoers, be vigilant, thank our lifeguards on the beaches who are on the front lines. And we all know there's been a challenge recruiting lifeguards, so we actually decided last year to pay them more to entice them to work here instead of flipping hamburgers. You know, come here, we need you, we need you. We need you to help protect our families and our children in particular. So we're going to be harnessing the power of technology, the human capital, of our lifeguards and making sure we're doing everything we can to literally take the bite out of any future shark encounters here at these beautiful beaches. So I want to thank everyone for joining us here today, and this is just more of a public awareness moment to just say this is out there. It is not a deterrent to come to the beaches. You're not going to find more beautiful beaches than you find in the state of New York, anywhere. Anywhere. And I'll take on any governor anytime who challenges that, even Florida, because I'm so proud of what we have here and how we've kept up the beauty of these beaches, especially through the work we do with our state parks and working with our local county parks personnel. So with that, I'll turn it over to Commissioner Kulistate. If you've had a chance to watch the drones, am I supposed to click something to cue it up to see the technology? Oh, you did already played? Yeah. Was it great? Okay. All right. Was it great? Okay. There you go. See, this is the message. You don't see any. So all the beachgoers come. There's nothing there to worry about. So that's the message of today. But with that, Eric Kulistate, thank you.
Thank you, Governor. It's always a great day at the beach when the governor comes to visit. She's our number one fan of parks, and we're so fortunate to have her as our leader this year and every year. As the governor mentioned, with the recent uptick in bites and shark sightings, in general, we have our lifeguards, our park police, and our park staff. We're all on high alert on our Long Island beaches to keep visitors safe, because we still want people coming. This is an incredible, extraordinary place for welcoming people. Over the last 2 seasons, as the governor mentioned, we have learned that drones are really the most effective way to detect shark activity and other potentially dangerous marine life. The drone patrols help to prevent the rare occurrences of negative shark interactions with swimmers, of course, but it's also the surfers, the surf fishermen, and boaters at our beaches. The drone footage gives our lifeguards and beachfront park managers even greater visibility than they would have from their lifeguard stands. As you can see, the vantage point, being able to look straight down to the water, you have a much greater ability to see what's happening underneath the surface. So with this, with the governor's leadership, really makes sense that we assist localities and agencies along New York's coastline to come up with new tools to enhance their beach safety efforts. So I want to thank, and then I think, so that is what we're going to roll out soon. We're rolling out now 60 drones that will be made available in Nassau, Suffolk, New York City, and Westchester counties. But that's not all we're doing. We're also, thanks to the governor's pay increases from last year, and our recruiting, we've been able to recruit a full complement of lifeguards so we can keep the millions of people who come to our parks safe every summer. And it's a whole team. The drones are one component, but I would put our lifeguards up against anyone in terms of their ability to anticipate events. They're out there, obviously benefiting from the drone footage, but we have jet skis, we have all kinds of tools at our disposal to help address and anticipate. Because there are actually 13 different shark species that make seasonal migrations to the New York region from the Atlantic Ocean every year. They've always been there, and we have to share the ocean with them. Just a few tips that I want to also lead people with about how to minimize the potential for interaction with sharks. They're common sense, and they're easy to determine. Avoid areas with seals. Seals attract sharks. Avoid areas with schools of fish, splashing fish, or diving birds, often a sign of a lot of bait fish activity. Avoid swimming at dusk, night, and dawn. Avoid murky water. Swim, paddle, and surf in groups, so you have your friends around you, people who can sport you. Stay close to shore where your feet can touch the bottom. It's just plain common sense, good advice that this program is going to help bolster. State parks and our partners, we will continue to use all the tools at our disposal, and we look forward to providing training, access to these new to the drones. We've also have a great network for passing information up and down the shoreline. If a sighting happens anywhere on that shoreline, the whole shoreline knows about it, and we're able to take reaction. So thank you for that, and thank you for coming today. And now we're going to hear from County Executive Bruce Blakeman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, and I want to thank you and your team here, Chip Gorman, and all the people in your Parks Department down here, as well as the State Park Police and the State Police. We have a great partnership. Governor, I'm sure you're very proud of your team down here. They really do a good job, true professionals. So let's have a round of applause for them. I'm here with my team as well. We have my Police Commissioner, Pat Ryder, our Parks Commissioner, Darcy Bellier, Chief of the Department, Chief Palmer, and our first Deputy Police Commissioner, Kevin Smith, as well as our Deputy County Executive in charge of Public Safety, Tatum Fox. So we brought a full team here because they work each and every day with the state, and again, the relationship is just fantastic. So a couple of things. First of all, some of you may have seen the video on YouTube, I don't know if you saw it, Governor, of the little girl who beamed me with a water balloon at the water balloon parade. She got a true headshot, and I can say that it's safer going in our oceans with the sharks than marching in water balloon parades. But our beaches are safe. But what we're doing here today is trying to make them safer. And that's the goal that we all have. That's the role of government, to always improve, make it safer, do a better job. Here in Nassau County, we work with our partners on the federal level with the Coast Guard, State Police, State Park Police, our towns, our Bay Constables. We have a very unified group that has an integrated way of monitoring all of the shark movements and how to alert beaches. And I would reiterate what's already been said. If you take proper precautions, like swim in a protected area, make sure there's a lifeguard there, if you don't go in the water when there's schools of fish or seals, you're going to be completely safe. But on top of that, we in Nassau County have our helicopters in the air, we have our all-terrain vehicles that are available, and we also have, again, our lifeguards and our Marine Bureau, which has at least 3 boats on the South Shore each and every day. I see that our partners from Long Beach are here, Commissioner Walsh, thank you. And the drone that you are giving to Nassau County will be well used. We also appreciate the training money and the certification money that the state will be provided. We thank our state partners for joining with you in that. And I know that the town of Oyster Bay, we have Supervisor Saladino here, is going to get a drone. And I know that the town of Hempstead is going to get a drone. And we have our Deputy Supervisor, Dorothy Gooseby, who for many years on the town board was my boss. I have the bruises in my leg to prove it. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for your cooperation and partnership, but I especially want to thank the governor for coming here again to Nassau County, being with us and helping us to provide for a safer environment for everybody. So thank you, Governor.
I was remiss in not acknowledging Assemblymember Dave McDonough has joined us here as well. I want to thank you. I apologize for the slight. If we can get a picture with the elected officials, I want to show you in person what a drone looks like. Come on up, elected officials.